We're gonna be on a roller coaster that only goes up, my friend.
My friend. What's that from?
It's from The Fault in Our Stars. That used to be like my favorite quote ever.
I feel like you've said it to me before, and I'm like, that's a great quote. John Green Nation Rise.
Hello, and welcome to Read the Last Page,
A book club.
YAP SESH.
With your two favorite long-distance best friends. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm your host, B. And how are you doing today, Dan?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited for today because...
Yay!
What are we celebrating, my girl?
Our anniversary.
It's so... Like, we've been here for a year.
Yeah.
Hey, that's crazy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. It hasn't felt like a year, truly. So,
No.
It's like, to me, it feels so weird. But
Yeah.
like also I'm like so happy that we've stuck with it. I truly like felt like for some reason I thought that in my brain, like I was like, this could be fun for like a few months maybe, and like it will probably fall off sometime. But like it's been a year and we've been consistent, and I'm really happy about
I know
that.
we've only I don't even think we missed one. We just flip-flopped one time when like we weren't ready for the book.
Yeah.
Cuz like I would like my life was a little bit crazy and I was like, oh, I haven't had time to finish the book, but we still recorded.
I know.
Like we haven't even missed, which there will probably come a time in the future where we miss, and that's okay.
And that's fine.
But like but yeah, it is crazy because also B and Dan, we have opposite work schedules. Literally
I don't
opposite.
know if people really truly realize how different we are operating. Not only that, but we also have like a little bit of a time difference. And so I just feel like we're like always just trying to like when it comes to recording, we're like scrambling to figure out when we could record.
Yeah.
But we make it work because out of love for the pod. And this is Belly.
There's no Belly.
She has to always be on every single episode. So happy to be here for the 1 year special. I'm doing well. I actually like finished a book on my own. But like, okay, so listen. So like I've been like a really awful reading slump the past 6 months almost. And if it wasn't for the book club, I fear I would not be reading at all. I probably
like finishing books.
Yeah. So I read, of course, the new Emily Henry book, Great Big Beautiful Life.
Oh, it's new?
Yeah, it came out last month.
It just came out?
Yes.
I saw someone posting, oh, this is what I'm reading, but I have yet to read an Emily Henry, so I didn't realize it was new.
Yeah, so
That's exciting.
What's exciting about Emily Henry is she does kind of tend to release every single year. I think 'cause she's just under contract to release every year. So like a new, it's like One Direction, you know, how they release an album every year. Emily Henry releases a book every year. Hey. This was so exciting for me because, okay, little inside fact about me, I work at a library, and so because of that, through this audiobook service called Libro, I get advanced listeners copies of certain books before they come out. And so for the past few years I've been getting the Emily Henry books before they come out, and so I actually got this month before everybody else did. But the thing is that I was in such a reading slump that like I was not reading. I was sitting on gold, and I was like, I can't get myself to read it, which was tough. And then finally after Sunrise on the Reaping, since that was a real troubling time, I was like, I kind of need something that's gonna make me feel a bit better, and so I was able to read this, and this was so fun. Like truly, I think there's been a lot of people online who have been like a little disappointed in it because it's not so much like her usual books. It focuses less so on the romance and more so on like the actual plot of what the book is, and so a lot of people are kind of not feeling this one so much as they felt the other ones, but I really liked it. I thought it was different, and she said she based it off of the Taylor Swift song. Not fully based it off, but she had inspiration from like the Taylor Swift song The Last Great American Dynasty. Oh, I know. And so
maybe I should start my Emily Henry journey with that one.
I think that actually might be a good pick for you, because I know like you don't typically read straight up romances very often.
Like straight up romance.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And it's like Emily Henry, to me, I mean, her books are obviously very much romance based, but like they're more so, I think, romance that focuses on the main character's journey and like how the romance pushes her forward to like getting to where she needs to be in the I don't know, that was not a good example.
Whatever she's yearning
but this is so much less romance than her other ones have been, so I think maybe if you're interested in just like seeing how she writes and wanting maybe a really good story,
getting in there,
I think you might like it actually.
Okay, wait, that's going, I mean, I have so many books on my list, but that's coming towards the top then.
Okay, wait,
because I've been wanting to read, because I know you love
I just love her.
You love her, and didn't you meet her and stuff? And like
yes, and you guys, I was lucky enough to meet her 2 years ago when she came to St. Louis, and she is like the nicest person. It made me so happy to support her because she was just so kind. One thing about her is that her first romance book, I say that in quotes, but like truly it is kind of her first romance book, Beach Read, came out in 2020. And so before the pandemic hit, and then it kind of skyrocketed her career throughout the pandemic.
Because everyone was home and reading.
Yeah. And so really this was like her first huge meet and greet event outside of the pandemic, and after kind of being skyrocketed into this position. And so it was really exciting because she was like really excited and also nervous, and we were all really excited and nervous. And I was like, why are you in St. Louis? Like, it's so random. But yeah, super good, super great. She's incredible.
Love that.
So yeah. So I was super excited because I'm like, finally I feel like I'm at this point in my reading slump journey. I'm like, I think I can read books again, which is great.
Nice. I'm going to grab a couple pillows to try to sit up higher because there's like a shadow on my face.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't even notice.
We can cut this if we need to.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed, but also we'll see how long it takes.
No, you're good.
If we don't cut it, it's fine. Okay. That's better for me. I don't even know if the audience cares or notices, but I notice.
Whatever makes you feel better.
And let me just try my light on just to see if I like that better. It usually doesn't make.
It's kind of
that literally doesn't make a difference.
There's a bit more warmth on your face, I'd say.
Okay.
I think this is an awkward time to film for you because it's 2 p.m. in New York, and I think it's like the sun is kind of in a weird place.
Yeah, it's not as high in the sky.
Yeah.
So I'm not like getting as direct of sunlight.
Yeah.
Usually I feel like we record earlier sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have been reading a book. I have not started. I got my copy of Crying in H Mart. It's well loved for the viewers.
Okay.
It's very worn in.
The people have been reading.
Yeah. But I just, I can't help myself when I'm at the library. Mm-hmm. I just always pick up books. Mm-hmm. And so the last time I was at the library, I got this book called Sunny Days Inside and Other Stories.
Oh, cool.
And I'm almost done with it. Like, I just have like the last chapter, which I think is kind of like an epilogue, kind of. Mm-hmm. Literally like 20 pages. And it's like kids. It's like from the juvenile section. So like it's very easy read. Mm-hmm. But anyways, it's about like all these different families. If you are watching, you can see like this apartment building, like all like these are just different little families on the back. Mm-hmm. Like when COVID hit. And so it's just about like we're just zooming in on each family and watching one little story unfold with each of them, and some of them connect and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've actually never read a book where COVID-19 is present because I just like I don't care. For the most part I'm just like I don't want to have to read about it. I lived through it.
Yeah.
I don't it's just like not. Sometimes I read the blurbs on books and I'm just like nah. I just don't want to. But of course the cover and the title drew me in. Mm-hmm. And then I was reading the blurb about what it was and I was like I actually think like I might like this kind of perspective on the pandemic, and because it's from the perspective of the kids in the building. Mm-hmm. And anyways, it's been really sweet. It's kind of silly and stuff, and some of the families are finding good ways to cope and some of them are not doing so well at coping. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's just been interesting. It's just my quick little read between books. So that's what I've been reading. I'm almost done with it. I'll finish it like the next time I crack it open. I'll finish it.
Right.
It reads really fast. But
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a book? Do you know? Was that released like during or right after the pandemic, or is that more so something that's? And I mean, honestly, we're still kind of in the pandemic, so like,
right.
So like, I guess there's no really after, but I just want to know how recent
it says. Copyright 2021. So
okay, wow. So yeah, they were writing that. I was wondering if they were writing that probably in lockdown,
right?
And I bet they were.
Yeah. Ooh. So, anyways, just yeah. Since you shared a book, I was like, let me share mine.
I was going to ask you if you were reading anything. I think that's it's so interesting. Sorry, not to stay on the whole COVID pandemic topic, but like I think it's so interesting that there were so many authors who, when we were in such a scary state and all locked inside of our houses, their first kind of instinct was to go and just write about it. I feel like I would not have been able to do that. Like, if you see the books I was reading while I was in lockdown, I was dissociating so hard, trying to find comfort wherever I could. But like, there's so many books about pandemics or about like illnesses or like end of the world-esque type of things that I wanted to read before the pandemic, and now I'm like I don't think I can put myself through it right now. Maybe in 2 to 5 years I'll feel better about it, but it's tough. No, I agree.
Today I have a poppy. It's called Doc Pop. Never had before.
Okay.
One of my roommates just left yesterday.
Are you opening it up?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Wait, can you open
it? Oh, you want some ASMR?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm setting the mic down so we can get the ASMR, and then I'll tell the story. Okay, here we go. Here, let me tap. I don't know if you could hear that. Here we go. Ooh, that was a good one.
What's funny is I feel like I can never hear it through the Zoom, but when I was editing our last episode, I also couldn't hear you open it, and I could hear it so crisp on your mic when I was editing, and I was like, ooh. I was like, okay,
good. Well,
so now
you'll hear it crisp later.
I'm excited to hear that while editing.
So one of my roommates, she has like some family stuff. Like I think her little sister's graduating, and so she's going home for that, and she's doing like a show back where we're from, and so she's gonna be gone for a little while, and so she had some food and stuff that she didn't finish, and she was like, yeah, if I leave anything here, like, you guys feel free to have it. So anyways, if she's listening or watching, it took me one day, and I'm drinking your poppy.
Let me crack that bad boy open.
Yeah, because I've only, I'm like an Olipop girl. But I've only tried one flavor of poppy, and I just didn't like it very much, so then I just never tried it again. But this one, it's pretty good.
Okay, what flavor would that be? Doc Cherry? Like Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, it's giving like Dr. Pepper adjacent.
Okay.
So anyways, that's my little drink of the podcast today.
Okay.
I like to share that.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I'm just having coffee. That's almost done, so
amazing.
It's kind of gross, but
nice.
Yeah, I've been actually cutting down on my coffee intake, which so pleased to say that, because genuinely, you guys, it was getting to the point where, I mean, and I think this is kind of normal for most adults, so maybe it's not crazy, but it was for me. I was drinking coffee every single day, and like, and not just like small amounts of coffee. Like, I needed like a big iced coffee or like cold brew. Like, that's a lot of caffeine. And so when I got my root canal, I was taking first of all, it was just painful to have anything that was like sweet or like anything that wasn't water. Yeah, it was bad. I was in a bad state. But
I would die. Yeah, it'd be hard.
It was hard. But anyway, after I got my root canal, they had me taking a lot of medication. So like, I was taking Tylenol and like ibuprofen every 3 hours, and so just so I couldn't feel the pain. And I was like, this is low-key probably a really good time to stop drinking coffee, because I'll be taking that medication anyway, so if I have any like withdrawals,
if you had a headache or something,
I won't feel it. And so I was just doing that. Even when I did feel it, like the pain I felt in my mouth far exceeded it. So like I was kind of dulled. And so I just like kind of got out of my insane coffee addiction.
Wow. Okay.
So this is
double whammy.
I know. This is my first coffee of the week, and it's a Saturday.
Nice.
So I feel really good about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know.
Speaking of caffeine, so yesterday, the theater that I work at, we had a comedian who was doing 2 shows in one night. And same thing again tonight. So basically, like, I have to get to the theater at 5:30. The show was supposed to start at 7. The show did not start till 8.
Ooh, okay.
Which means everything got pushed back.
Okay.
And so we weren't leaving until like almost 1:15. So my parents came to visit me for like 2 days in between. They're so crazy. I love them. They were like on a cruise that docked in New Jersey. So then they took an Uber into the city on Thursday, and they like stayed in a hotel for one night here in New York. And then from here they flew to where my oldest sister lives. Because like the kids are having like preschool graduation, that kind of stuff. So anyways, they were like, well, let's just visit Laura for 2 days. Anyways, where was I going? Why did I mention my parents? So I took them to the airport, and I ended up staying at the airport like longer than I intended. So I didn't have time to come home before work, which luckily I started doing this now. We have lockers at work, and I keep I have to wear all black, and I keep my docs, like my boots that I wear for work there. And I also started keeping like a pair of pants and a shirt there.
Okay.
So that if I'm ever out and about and then I like have to get to work and I can't get home first, I know that like I'm fine and I can go there and I have clothes.
Nice.
So I was just going straight to work. So of course I needed dinner before. So of course I was like, let me stop at the Taco Bell.
I knew it. I was like, she went to Taco Bell.
yeah. And so, between 2 and 5 or whatever, you can get like the $1 like fountain drink. So I drank my Diet Pepsi. And then before I left, I refilled it. So I had like 2, medium size Diet Pepsis, because I was like, it's going to be a long night. Let me drink some caffeine. Then my favorite coworker, shout out to Mike. He sometimes listens. And he gave me like a Diet Coke. So of course I was going to drink it. It was crisp from it was crisp and cold. So I drank basically like 3 sodas in one, within a couple hours. And so, which was good because then I was awake for the show. But then when I got home at like 1:45 a.m. I was not tired. So I'm scrolling on my phone for like almost an hour, and then I'm like, I need to take a shower. I was like so then I finally get in bed, and I'm like, let me put on National Treasure 2.
Oh, true.
So I fell asleep sometime between like 3:30 and 4 a.m.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tough.
So that is my story with caffeine. And it's like, and I gotta do it all again tonight. But I will not be drinking that much caffeine tonight because it was not necessary.
Yeah.
And yeah. So side note, I sat, sometimes I meet stars, and I'm not even gonna say her name right. Why don't you say it, Danielle?
Okay. Yesterday Laura sent me a photo. She goes, just sat this girl. And it was a search of Susan Sarandon. So you should see me in my kitchen receiving that text. My roommates were there. I was like, I literally was like, there's no way you just met Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. I was seating her. Really, I was seating a group. Okay. So at the theater, we have these things called the loges, Loge. I don't know. I've never seen it at any other theater. It's almost kind of like a box seat, but they're not on the sides. It's like the front. It's the very front of our balcony. And it's like these little groups of 6 seats. Well, the house loge is like loge 5, and it's like those 6 seats are for like any of our upper management people, like if they want to bring someone in, or if the talent, whoever's performing, like wants to like comp special people in,
Okay.
we have like Loge 5. And so my manager came up and handed me like the Loge 5 tickets, all 6 of them, and was like, oh, can you take these people to their seats? So I'm bringing this group of 6, and I figured, I mean, I'm always on my best behavior, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, oh, they're going to Loge 5. Like, this must be someone special.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't recognize any of the other 5 people, but I saw that woman, Susan, and I was like, I know that I know her.
Yeah.
And I couldn't place like her name. But I was like, that is an actress. Like, I know she's an actress. And, so I sat them all, and I was like, you guys have this loge right here. Like, you have all 6 seats. And she was the one who said, like, thank you to me.
Susan!
and then I was texting Mike. We were working on opposite sides. I was like, Loge 5 seat 2, is that a famous actress? And then I was looking up, like, I was like, let me try to find a picture of her. And I found those pictures. What's crazy is I knew that I knew her from more than one thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that I used to search her from was in middle school science class. Mm-hmm. We watched a movie called Lorenzo's Oil, and that is what I remember her from. She was the mom.
Go on.
And like that was like, when I saw her face, that was like the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the mom in Lorenzo's Oil.
I love that so much for you. No,
because I remember really liking her in that movie.
You're like big fan. Lorenzo's Oil, by the way, changed my life. No, that's actually so me with Jake Gyllenhaal in that October Sky movie that we watched in like ninth grade. Mm-hmm. I was like, whoa. Everyone's like,
that movie was good.
I know, it was like Jake Gyllenhaal, Donnie Darko, Jake Gyllenhaal, Zodiac. Me, October Sky changed my life.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Because, okay, also another thing you guys need to know. One thing about Laura, she really likes the movie Enchanted. Famously, yes. That Susan Sarandon is in a star villain role. And so when she sent that to me, I was like, oh my God, she probably recognized her because of Enchanted. And then you said, what's weird is like, I recognized her because I watched this really weird movie in my class. And I was like, but not Enchanted.
But it's like, as soon as you said Enchanted, I could place immediately. I knew exactly what she looked like in the movie then, you know? But yeah, I'm just like, Danielle has way better like name and facial recognition with like the celebrities and the actresses and stuff than I do. I'm always like, yeah, like that person's familiar. Yeah. And then once I look it up, I'm like, okay, I get it now. Yeah. But I'm always like, I know Danielle's gonna know who this is.
One time you sent me the most grainy photo of a person on stage talking to, I think, Josh Gad. Yeah. And you go, who is this man? And I was like, Richard Kind, I think. And you were like, yeah, that's him. I was like, how was I like
Dan's always gonna know.
I know. Unfortunately, that is my one skill in life. Yeah. But sometimes like I'm like, to know every single person you've actually ran into who probably is a celebrity that you just like didn't. Yeah. It's like, I know, would love.
And it's like I sat her, and then, you know, she came out of my door. I mean, we were 3 inches away from each other, you know. Wow. I didn't like ask. I wasn't going to say anything. Yeah. The Kevin Chamberlain one was different. I was like, I got to get that picture.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. But they like shouted her out. Like the comedian at the end of the show was like, thank you guys all, you know, for coming, and like shout out. We got Susan
Sarandon
in the audience, and I was like, right there, you know. But I couldn't take a picture because at this show they locked everyone's phones in these bags. It's like a thing.
Oh yeah,
they do now sometimes. Yeah. So I was like, which like they didn't lock my phone in because I'm not watching the show. But I was like, I can't in good faith like go into the theater and try to take a picture because
not allowed.
They would be mad. So
yeah, valid. That's so valid. I mean, honestly, I bet they kind of appreciate just being able to go to a comedy show and not have to.
Yeah. It was more
people.
like I was going to try to take a picture just from my corner just to send to you, like, there she is, you know, but okay. I was going to be like super, super nonchalant and not like posting it on the internet or anything like that.
So valid. No, I get that.
Okay, well, we have no plan for this episode. We're just like, it's our 1-year anniversary of our podcast. Yay! Yeah. And then like that's as far as we got. So well, happy Mother's Day weekend. It'll already be past as we're when we post this, but Mother's Day is tomorrow as we're recording. So shout out to the moms. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my Dan's mom.
True. My mom will be watching this because she watches all of our episodes. So truly huge shout out to her. Peace and love to you.
Love.
Yes.
Love. I don't think my mom listens.
It's okay. I actually like that your mom doesn't listen for some reason. Because like even just my mom listening, sometimes I'm like. Sometimes I'm
it feels like I'm being exposed.
I know. I'm like, should I censor my? And it's not like we even say anything crazy ever on here, but like sometimes I do feel like I need to be censoring myself. And my mom would not care. Trust, my mom would not care. But like, I just something about other people's families witnessing me in this setting makes me feel kind of odd.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I don't know.
My mom, well, she likes to listen to audiobooks.
Really?
But I don't know if she really listens to podcasts though, you know.
Yeah, podcasts are kind of hard, I think, to get into. My mom, what she does is because she really is into YouTube, and so she'll like have us up on our TV and watch us as she goes to bed or whatever.
That's nice.
I know.
That's so sweet.
I know.
Good night.
I know.
You're going to bed
sometimes because I do know if you're going to bed right now. Yeah, sweet dreams. No, sometimes I do. I'm like because I know my dad doesn't really watch. And so I'm like, I wonder how bad she's like cranking that volume, and my dad just I'm like, hey dad. So true.
Miss my mom and my grandma and my 3 older sisters are all moms.
Yeah, my goodness, yes, you have sisters who are moms. Wow, happy Mother's Day to them too.
And I get to see all of my sisters this summer. I'm very excited about that.
That's huge. It's hard to get everyone together.
And so it should be like I'm seeing all my nieces and nephews too. So yeah, we won't all be together in the same place, but I'm very lucky. I'm getting to go home, and then I'm also getting to me and my mom and my oldest niece are going to take a road trip to Texas to see my oldest sister. So I'll get to meet my youngest nephew for the first time. So yeah, I feel super spoiled in that regard because I'm flying, like I'm going home for like a dance job. But then I was like, let me go ahead and make these flights work for me and make this like a family trip too. So, and hopefully a bestie trip too. Hopefully I'll be seeing you.
Yeah, we'll talk dates. This summer's gonna be crazy, but I'm hoping I'll be able to come down and see you.
Yeah. Speaking of besties in the same room, when is Stranger Things coming out?
Oh, good question.
Is that this year or next year?
I think maybe it has to be next year.
Okay, so we got time.
Yeah. True. Oh my gosh, that's gonna take planning.
Yeah,
that's gonna be like we have to set a time to figure out what that's gonna look like,
because we're gonna also have to plan how much of the first 4 seasons are we gonna marathon together. If at all. Do we each watch season 1 on our own before we get to each other and then we start season 2? Like what?
It's actually so tough. Okay, you guys, we have to get into the lore of Stranger Things, and it's like, listen, I feel like a lot of people are tired of Stranger Things at this point. Me and you, no. Unfortunately, no. Every time a new season comes out, we kind of have to watch it together. And not only that, it's like we kind of try to marathon while we do that.
Right.
And this is the last season. So it's like the marathon would probably be like really crucial.
Right.
But we've also seen season 1 upwards of like 25 times maybe. So it's like really like, it's like, wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've seen it 25 times.
Maybe, I don't know. I just threw out a number to be exaggerating how much we've actually seen it.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like it's like the once in a lifetime where you can marathon it all and then watch the new one, and that's the end.
Yeah.
But it's like, are we gonna have 5 days free?
Or is it gonna be
nobody
like
has to work?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Save up vacation days.
That's gonna be tough. I remember when we were watching the fourth one, you told me, you were like, and then we have to promise each other that we're gonna come back together when season 5 drops and we'll watch it together. And it was so sweet. And I do remember saying to you, like, Laura, we do have to be a little realistic because we do not know where either of us is gonna be by that time. And you were like, don't say that. And now I'm like, you're in New York. Like, girl, you moved so far away.
But I will be booking a flight to come back, so like, it's that serious.
Okay, I love that. You said trust, I am returning.
Yeah, no, like that's like not even a question.
Okay, I love that.
Because it's like I can just be like, oh, and I'll visit my family too, so it's like
it's an excuse to see. Yeah,
maybe this would be best case scenario. One of my sisters is having another baby, and it's like, oh, I have to go meet the baby, and it just happens to be when Stranger Things goes on.
Using your sisters, like, just growing their family is like and I'm gonna be in town, don't worry.
Right.
That is so funny. We took a drink break at the same time.
Amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like we'll have to decide, like, because there's kind of 3 options. Because technically we could watch it here in New York, but I'm like, that's like the very bottom of the list because I don't have a TV in my room, so it's like, nah.
Yeah.
But so it's really between, like, depending on where you're living, if like your place would be a good marathon, or it's like, do we just go to my parents' house and utilize that big bedroom in the basement with a big TV,
That's actually really true.
And I'm sure they'd let us.
Be like, hey guys, sorry, we're 27 now or something, and we do have to both.
We're gonna be
here.
in the basement for like 4 days.
Yes.
Domino's Pizza, Papa John's.
Papa John's
Pizza, slushies from Sonic for season 3.
Yeah. Oh,
like, don't worry about us.
We really do have a whole routine.
I know, it's so sweet.
Yeah. You're also the only person in my life who, by the way, like, prefers Papa John's pizza over any place else.
Really?
It's like, and this is crazy, but like, I mean, other than like these like niche kind of like actual pizza shops, the only pizza chain that I really like is Papa John's, and everything else I kind of just tolerate. And it's like, you're the only person who I can like Papa John's out with, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, thank God we're ordering Papa John's.
Yeah, I'm such a Papa John's truther.
Yeah,
but since moving here, my door into my apartment is literally right next to a Domino's.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, of course, sometimes I get like a New York slice, right? But when I'm just like ordering takeout pizza, I'm just always getting Domino's because it's so convenient. And the Papa John's is like, it's literally like maybe 2 or 3 blocks away. Oh. But it's like, I don't want to walk with a pizza.
No, that's
for 10
a lot.
minutes,
that's kind of a lot.
When I could walk instead for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm putting some respect on Domino's name, but like, if I have a car and I have to drive anyways, I'm going Papa John's.
I like Domino's. I will say something about the sauce has never worked for me. I think it's like either too sweet or like it doesn't taste like tomato sauce to me. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's my controversial take. Everyone out Pizza's the Hut.
Oh, literally. And not only that, but like the Pizza Huts in my town have the worst service ever.
Really?
Like half the time we don't even get the pizza. Like they'll deliver it someplace else. I know. Don't even ask. Don't even ask. It's tough. And so it's like, genuinely, yeah, everyone out Pizza Hut. It's insane. For a second, I thought you were going to tell me that you prefer Little Caesars over everything.
Oh,
which I don't know why. I just felt like the only place I've eaten Little Caesars has been like maybe your house.
At my house.
And so I'm just like, are you a Little Caesars truther? Like,
there used to be one that was like on our way home from church. So it's like, you know, we're getting out of church at 11, which really we're leaving at 11:20 because we're chatting with other families. Everyone's like hungry because you kind of fast before church. And then it's like, let's just grab a $5 pizza on the way home. So we did used to have it a lot. And like, I like it for what it is.
For like a $5 pizza,
For $5, yeah.
True.
Like, I'm not going to complain, but it's like,
I'm not getting a little
that could
pizza.
Never dethrone Papa John's.
No,
like,
no. Like, it's like if you were Stranger Thingsing.
Yeah.
And like, you were like, let's just get Little Caesars. I'd be like, do we have to do that? Like, I would do it.
It went out of business. In our hometown.
And I think
like years ago, but I guess you don't live there, so
yeah, no. And I never would have gotten it from there anyway. But like, we have one in my town that I live in, but I don't know. I haven't checked to see if it's gone out of business in a while.
Yeah,
maybe I should look again.
The Applebee's, both of the Applebee's in our hometown are out of business now.
Oh my gosh.
And I know, that's like a staple back home. But so when my parents were here, we passed like the Applebee's in Times Square. We were trying to find somewhere to have lunch, and they're like, we could go to Applebee's.
Get some apps from Applebee's.
We didn't.
I have like the fondest memories of just going tag alonging, if that's a word, to Applebee's with your family and like going crazy on the apps.
Yep, after 9 p.m. the half price appetizers.
My Lord. I was like, because also it's like something about going to a restaurant after 9 p.m. with a family. That was something my family never did. My mom was like, after 8 p.m. we are indoors. Like, I cannot be bothered to go outside. And so I was like, this is so like liminal space. It felt crazy. And you guys had this whole rapport with your servers. I was like,
yes,
crazy.
Our girl Sam
it's so crazy.
We used to do that so much. We went through like a year where like you were always
it's
there. Like, oh, it's Saturday night, let's go get some apps.
That's so real.
But it's like we're all getting our own appetizer like as our meal, you know.
Yeah, and they were cheap. So
Applebee's boneless wings hates to see the Beam family coming. Like, we were always
my Applebee's in town has like a sign outside of it, and they for the longest time have had AYCE boneless on their sign, and so it says that stands for all you can eat boneless.
All you can eat, yeah.
And for some reason, I always thought they would be like ace boneless. Ace. It's like it's ace boneless. Like, I always thought it was like them being like, come eat our wings, ace boneless. And it took me 2 years. They haven't changed the sign in 2 years. And I'm like, oh, all you can eat boneless. That makes a lot of sense. Ace boneless. So
that is too good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, shout out Applebee's though. Only place you can get like a $5 kind of bad margarita and also half price apps.
Yeah. So when my parents were here, we went out to dinner, actually at the restaurant that I used to work at, and my bestie at that restaurant, she was our server. I was like texting her like, are you gonna be working, because we want to see you. And anyways, so my parents, you know, they're fresh off the cruise ship, and they're like, let's get drinks too. I'm like, what is going on?
We're getting drinks.
But my dad got coconut rum and Coke. It was so good.
Okay.
Do you like coconut?
I don't like coconut. I don't like rum, and I don't like Coke. So that's not for me.
Okay. Well, if any of you guys like coconut, like I've had like a rum and Coke because it's just like, I just like soda.
Yeah, it's
so
easy.
I'm like, oh, that's easy. But the coconut in it, ooh, I was like, oh, we're on cruise time still. So I recommend if anybody needs a new drink at the restaurant, wherever. I'm sure they make it anywhere.
Yeah, probably.
As long as they have coconut rum. But yeah.
My mom's huge into like rum chata, which I guess is like rum and...
Isn't like spice, like warm?
Yeah, it's like a warm drink. So like we put it in like our hot chocolate. We'll put it in like whatever. That was like a go-to when we were in college and broke. Like rum chata and hot chocolate. But like I do not like RumChata. And I don't like rum.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I was really kind of it was just struggled out here for me, but we were doing whatever we could. It didn't matter.
We were crazy.
Yeah, crazy back then.
I seriously was not crazy.
No, I wasn't either. Trust. Like actually hearing some of the stories.
So tame.
Yeah. Like I don't know if you could tell, but me and B are just like, hey.
Our version of crazy was
you pulling out the pink Whitney out of your bedside drawer while we were watching a Stranger Things or something,
and putting it into the slushies.
You would be like, we could have some pink Whitney. Like you. And what's crazy?
So
go ahead. The story. Tell the story.
Wait, what?
I was just gonna say what's crazy is like you were sitting on that bottle for like 2 years in your bedside drawer, and like every time I came over, you're like, we could have the pink Whitney.
We don't
pull out the pink Whitney.
I know I had it for so long because I never drank.
Oh my god.
And then after you were over,
yeah,
and we were watching Stranger Things, and so yeah, it's like over on the far side of my bed over there, like there's that little space between the wall, and I had set it over there. And then one time my dad was like it was just like right after that, my dad was like, oh, like, do you want to play Catan with, you know, me and your grandma and whatever? And I was like, I really, really want to, but like I have to clean my room. Like my room is so messy. Like it has to be clean, but I really, really want to play. And he was like, well, I'll help you clean your room later if you play with us. Okay. Because that's how much my family loves Catan.
Sure.
So then my dad's cleaning my room and he goes over there. He was like, so what's this?
Yeah, that's Whitney.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like I promise me and Daniel are not crazy. It's like we probably didn't even drink any.
No, we didn't. We for sure didn't. There. Also, I think it's also important to note we were of age at this time.
Oh,
we were over 21. It wasn't
like
like
23.
We were not sneaking the pink Whitney. Like
no.
This was just us like kind of being like, I don't know why you were hiding it in your
because I'm embarrassed about everything.
Well, because like the pink Whitney is like the most like cliche type of
like college girl.
Oh my lord, it's just so funny to me. But also,
yeah.
One of my favorite photos of you was one time you came over to my place in the city I live in, and you like we were having a sleepover and we were like, oh, we'll watch movies, we'll chat, whatever, and you bring your bag, you sit on the floor crisscross and you start pulling like just a whole bunch of little tiny like coolers and I don't even know you go, I brought everything I have, and it's like this like I don't even know what it was, like bright blue type of like vodka. Like you were bringing like these like flavored vodka type of drinks. I was like, girl, what is this?
I don't know why I even had them. Like
you're like, I brought everything I have.
Because I've never bought those before. I don't know where I just accumulate them from like my friends. I don't know. Someone's
so
giving
funny.
them to me. I've never bought one of those little mini things, but I had like 5 of them.
It was so funny to me. I was just like, yeah, what can we do with this? Again, I do not think we drank a single one. Like that's one thing about, to be honest, alcohol is tough for me. If I'm out, it's fun. If I'm sitting in a room with my friends and drinking, I'm like, by the time I get drunk, I crash so hard and it's not fun anymore. And I'm like, I'd rather just kind of be hanging with you sober than like have to deal with the ups and downs of that.
But for me, it's more like I just am like, oh, this is sitting in my room. I need to get rid of it.
Can we
but
drink
it's like,
this?
I don't want to throw it away. So I'm like, let me just bring it to Danielle's place and see like
what the vibes are.
Where the night takes us. And you know where the night takes us? Reading books next to each other. That's what we do.
You came over and I was like, can we just read?
Yeah.
We read in silence
for like 4 hours.
we got thick into our books. Like we were really reading. Mm-hmm. That is so funny to me.
Also, this is why we normally plan what our topics are going to be.
Oh yeah, how did we get here?
This is not what I planned on sharing with the podcast world, but
this was supposed to be our
this is us
reminiscing on a year together.
Yeah,
we're like, Laura has had the Pink Whitney in her bedside for the past 3 years.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still there. I honestly don't know.
Really?
I don't remember.
You never told me. Yeah, I feel like if you finished it, you would have sent me a photo. It'd be like, finish the Pink Whitney. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I love
when
that.
I go home this summer, I'll check.
Okay, yeah, and we'll update the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you guys are all really interested now.
If we want to, here's a fun game that we like to play sometimes. Pull a random date out of the air and see what's written.
I feel like there's actually, this is another thing. We don't talk about our lore so much, I feel like, on the podcast anymore. Because, like, we just addressed a whole lot in the first ep. But, like, one thing about me and you, because we've been friends since we were 10 years old, all of our fun things that we did to entertain ourselves when we were 14, 13, 15 have just carried on throughout our lives, and this is what we still find fun. And so this was an activity we would do when I would come over to your house to essentially watch you clean your room from your bed.
It's always that.
You were like, come over and watch me clean my room. And I was like, yeah. And I would just sit there. This is why in our friendship, I think our love language is quality time together.
Yeah.
We would just do anything. So and then you would be like, let's look through our journals, to the point where, by the way, when you die, I'm pretty sure when you die,
yeah,
if you die soon, maybe, which hopefully you won't,
yeah,
but like, it's like, I get the journals, like, in your will, that is literally what's like, that's going to happen.
Because you're the only one. Kelly would be like a close second.
Okay.
You know, I'm probably going to will them to you.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, because you're the only one that's like, nothing could be embarrassing. Like, you're the only person that it's like, yeah, I would be embarrassed if you read some of these things in front of me. Yeah. But, like, if I'm already gone,
like,
it's like, I trust, you know?
Yeah, I think it's what's nice about it is, like, I think me and you have a really earnest friendship in that way. Like, it's like, I feel like we both appreciate each other's sensitivity a lot. And so, yeah, I would love your journal. And it also makes me feel so happy in a way, because I'm very much somebody who, like, if you have to write about me in your journal and say heinous things, that's totally fine. That's between you and your journal. But, like, the fact that you're like, I don't write mean things about you in my journal, like, I don't know, it just makes me feel really happy that even in, like, your most safest places, you're not, like, upset with me, which maybe you are in a couple pages, but, like, that's fine.
without revealing too much about a situation, there's been one situation in our friendship where
we rehashed.
We were a little bit like, you know, and you apologized to me for it, like, I don't know, a couple years ago. You were like, remember that one time, like, I feel like I didn't handle that well, like, blah 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 blah. And I was like, it's totally fine, like, we're past that, like, but thank you for saying that, because when I think back, I remember being like, oh, I kind of wish that had gone differently. But then I opened up my journal,
and you were being like, so nice to me,
and I was like, you know, Danielle was saying these things, but, like, I think she's right, so, you know, like, I could not write anything bad about you.
And it's crazy to me, because when I was even saying, like, that whole thing where I was like, and it's so nice that you don't have anything mean written about me, I was like, oh, she probably wrote about that one thing though. But you did that so kindly. Wait, that's so sweet. And it's true, we've really only ever gotten into one disagreement, I would say, that has been, like, big enough where I felt like we were probably upset with each other in a way. And that was it. And to note, true, even, like, and I think even in my diary, I don't know if I wrote about it, but if I were to look back at my diary, I think I would do the same thing, because I never really, I don't use that as, like, an outlet to be mean to my friends. I think I use it as, like, an outlet to work through my feelings. Like,
right, exactly. Like, yeah. And so it's like, through writing about it, I was like, I'm really upset, but, you know, I think Danielle has a point to what she was saying, so I guess it's okay, you know?
It's so funny. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, let's look through some journals. This is
okay. So
precious cargo, you guys.
We're recording on May 10th.
Yeah.
So let's just say anything from May 10th of last year through today. So Just like give a random date and we'll just see if I wrote anything.
Okay. So
and it might be stupid or boring, but
so from last May 10th to now. So I'm gonna. Oh, can I check? Like, I'm gonna do like whatever's the closest entry to my birthday. So September 12th.
September 10th.
Okay.
Okay. I guess that's the closest then.
Yeah.
It's not going to be about your birthday.
No, I didn't.
That's crazy that you said that though, because the date closest to your birthday that I wrote on is September 10th, and it's the last entry in this journal.
Ooh, okay, that's huge.
But yeah, okay, so I was writing about my callback. What callback was this for? This was for my callback for the Adams.
For the contortionist role.
Yeah, for the national tour. Yeah. Guys, I got a callback, a big deal callback.
Yeah, for the Adams Family musical, by the way.
Okay, let me just see if there's like anything that's like worth reading out loud. The first girl was legit. I showed like everything impressive I could do while doing some of my tricks. They said that I had beautiful feet, which like that's a good compliment for dancers. I know it sounds weird to like the main world, you know. Mm-hmm. All in all, the dancing portion went spectacularly, and I felt very proud and satisfied with what I did. Smiley face. Nice. And I also sang, which was a big deal because singing is more scary to me. Let's see like how I ended this. Okay. Even if I don't get it, this has still been a huge step, and I'm so proud of myself.
That's so nice.
But man, I really do want this. I feel ready and capable. I'm so proud of myself. I want this dream so bad. It's actually feeling in reach. For now, this is goodbye to this journal. I love this journal so much. Thank you, lovely purple journal with perfect stickers. I love the way I stickered this one. Which actually, that's a matching sticker with you.
Yeah, I have that on my laptop.
Yeah. Cute. And Little Women. Nice. We gotta mention Little Women.
Little Women, and a Six of Crows. I see one too.
Yep.
Which is also a matching sticker that I have.
My first 8 months living away from home. So much has happened. I finally feel like I'm settling in here and finding my place and making the moves I need and want. Okay. This is like so personal to read out loud. This is me writing to myself, you know. Mm-hmm. Thank you, and I love you, and I'm proud of you. Love, Laura.
That's so cute.
With my little signature.
With your bee.
Yeah, well, that was kind of a nice one that you chose.
I'm happy. I'm glad. That was really sweet of you. I feel like it's nice to know. I always get sorry, not to get too deep on this.
No,
we can cut this if you want to.
Deep.
Okay. I get so nervous sometimes with you out in New York trying to like do the really hard thing of like, you know, make it big in any aspect of the musical world and or just arts world. And I feel like too, it's like really hard. Whether or not you're like the greatest star in the world or whatever, it's just like everybody deals with a lot of rejection. Yeah. And like, I think it's so scary sometimes to like know that like your friends out there kind of going through that. It's so nice to know though that you're in your journal being kind to yourself. Yeah. It like that was a really sweet message that you left yourself. Yeah.
Well, it's really nice to read because I've actually been brewing on a. I've been needing to journal about my feelings about my dance career right now, which have not been so positive. There's just been some things recently with some of the people I'm surrounded by and like the way the auditions are going and stuff. And I'm feeling very like, why am I doing this? And why does nobody think I'm good enough? And so anyways, that was nice to read that I said like I'm proud of myself. Yeah. You know?
And that was like a huge deal, you getting a call back for something kind of like that. Yeah. And you feeling confident in yourself and the fact that they gave you good feedback.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah, I didn't read all of that. I don't remember how much I've said on the podcast, but they were saying good things to me and about me, and I ended up, this is so random, I ended up randomly on TikTok getting on my For You page a video from a guy who's in the Adams musical talking about how he booked it, and he was saying he's the acrobat, and I commented and I was like, hey, do you know, is this role like does that cover the same thing that like the contortionist would have been? Because like that's what I was called back for. Lo and behold, it was. So the person that booked the role was a guy who was like a professional gymnast, or maybe not professional, but like competitive. Like he could do like trampoline tricks and like backflips.
Yeah,
I can't do that, and I'm also not a guy.
right.
So it's like I can't really be. They took the character in a different direction, and I might have been the best contortionist, but they decided to go in a different direction. It's like I can't be.
You can't fault yourself for that. Yeah,
it was like comforting and upsetting at the same time to be like, ugh, like they didn't even do what they said they were gonna do. But then it's like, well, but I'm not the right fit for what they ended up wanting, so it's not my fault, you know. But so it's like that type of thing probably happens a lot, but I don't see that. Like I don't see who is getting the role instead of me. And it felt like the fourth wall was breaking to like see that video and be like, wait, I swear this is the guy that got the part I was going for. You know,
that's so weird.
It's so interesting. And he like replied and stuff. He was super nice. He was like, yeah, that's the part I went for. Like maybe we were in the same, you know, like audition group together. But yeah, he seems super talented. Like that's just how it goes, you know.
True.
There's just a lot of talent.
True.
Okay, want to pick another date?
Yeah. Let me think about. Well, what's our anniversary for our podcast?
I don't know. When did we post our first? We recorded and then like we didn't
post
it
until, like, a month
for
later.
a second.
So the first one that we did was our YAP SESH Meet B and Dan, which we posted on May 18th, 2024.
May 18th?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, May 19th is must have been our last day at the show that I was in last year, Matilda.
Ooh, okay.
Because I have all these signatures from people in my show. So some of these are just quotes from the show. Smile, we've done this 1,000 times. That was from the guy, like I played the acrobat. That was the guy that played the escapologist. That's like, you know, something we say to each other.
Wait, you were the acrobat. Interesting.
Yeah. I was the acrobat twice. Like, I've been in Matilda twice, and I was the acrobat twice.
I just watched Matilda the musical, by the way, like the movie on Netflix. And then I was like kind of I was piecing together the photos that you put on your Instagram last year. And I was like, oh, I wonder if Laura played this character. And I was wondering if you played the acrobat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cute.
Which is why I thought, you know, for the Adams, I was like, I got this in the bag. Like I've already done this role. You know? This is from one of the little girls who played Lavender. Dear Laura, it was a pleasure working with you. Shine bright and never give up. Continue acting as long as it makes you happy.
What
so
wisdom.
Sweet?
That's so nice.
Yeah. We were in the song When I Grow Up. During that song, some of us gave like the kids like airplane rides like on our feet. She was the girl that I like gave an airplane ride to.
Okay.
Then the little girl who was like my bestie, I played her mom at the beginning. Like my mommy says I'm a miracle. She was my little doll, and I was just obsessed with her. She said, Dear Laura, you are my favorite miracle mom. Thank you so much for all your help throughout rehearsals to this point. The end. I will never forget you.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, so that's cute.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Shall I read my Six of Crows review after reading it for the second time?
Yeah, honestly, yes, you should.
Okay. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now, you know I've already read this one and loved it. Danielle and I just read it together, and now we're on Crooked Kingdom. This reread was truly incredible. This is a 10 out of 10, no notes type of book. Each character is written so exquisitely and so believably. I'm drawn to each character and each pairing. Kaz's backstory is so jarring. You root so hard for Inej. Jesper is so fun while hiding from his reality. Wylan is a bit of a mystery, but everyone comes around. Oh, sorry, I got to flip the page. Comes around to him. Nina is fiercely confident and also loyal. Matthias is fighting his nature and loyalties, but eventually comes around. All of them. There's so much I could say. This has barely scratched the surface. I was really noticing in this read through how much I cared about Matthias's redemption arc. Okay, you know.
Yeah, literally.
Yep. At the end, when Nina is trapped. Okay, spoilers if you've never read this book. At the end, when Nina is trapped in the cell and Matthias plays along with Jarl Brum that he's on his side, it is so scary and effective because Matthias's internal battle has been so real that Nina and me as the reader both truly feared he might have turned back. Like, I felt like, no, there's no way, but also I could see it. Just wow. I'm so amazed by Lee Bardugo's writing. Everything is a seed for something else, and it just makes the story so real and the characters so authentic. I love it.
Aw, that's so true.
Yeah.
I love Six of Crows. That was such a smart idea from both of us to be like, we're going to start a book club and we're going to read one of our favorites together.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I wonder if we'll ever in the future, because I don't think we've actually ever read a whole lot of the same books. And the ones that we have, we've kind of already done. Like, we did Six of Crows and then we did Turtles.
Yeah.
And I guess The Outsiders. But like, I'm just like, I wonder if we'll ever, like, in the past, like, revisit any of the books that we're currently reviewing for the podcast.
Well, like, from our book club when we were younger, like, I would be interested maybe in doing the short history of a Girl Next Door, like something like that.
Yeah, that was a fan fave.
You know what would be so funny though?
But it would also be like torture.
All. Yeah.
You guys know the Losers Take All lore. And that was the first book we read for our book club that we had one-on-one, and we did not like it.
It was so bad.
But we reference it all the time. We're always like, at least it's better than the Losers Take All. That would actually, you know what? That would actually be such an interesting one to reread. Yeah. Because I wonder if we would just had too high hopes. And like, maybe it's a totally fine book, and for some reason it just did not land for us.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we could think about doing that one sometime.
It could be fun. Shall we do another? I don't know. Is this fun? I hope this is fun for the audience. I think it's fun.
Yeah, we can do one more. Do you have like a favorite entry that you know of?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I wish I could like control F my journal.
Yeah, and like
find Danielle.
True. Like us on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, here's one from September 1st, 2024. Titled New Month. Okay. And the first sentence is, Happy August Slipped Away Day.
True. August literally slipped away.
Just talking about my life and how my first year is going by. My first year in New York was going by so fast, which is crazy because I'm almost been living here for a year and a half. You know?
Wow. That is actually really insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the reason why we started this podcast was because you moved to New York,
right?
And we were like, "What is a way for us to feel like we're
like hanging?"
Yeah, or like just like having as deep of conversations as we would as we were like having our sleepovers. And so, yeah, this is a fun way to do that. But that's so true.
Yeah. How do you feel like your life has changed or developed over the past year?
I think I don't know. I think the podcast is a way that like after you graduate college, unless if you go into a real artistic kind of career, I think there's a lot of ways that like your creativity kind of gets zapped out of you, just because there's not a whole lot of chances for you to keep exercising that part of you. And so I feel like one thing that the podcast has been good for is it gives me something that I can express myself through that way. I don't get to. One thing about me too is like I was really heavily involved in my broadcasting program in high school, to the point where I wanted to become like a journalist in college, and that quickly I was like, I actually don't think I want to do that. But one thing I love doing is editing. Like truly, I think I like to edit a lot, and so I feel like that's been really nice to be able to like get back into that in a way that's not
Yeah, like you're not getting a grade on it.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear because I'm predisposed to feel guilty a lot of times, and I feel guilty sometimes when I think about like because Dan like edits the whole episode because it's just easier with her like Mac and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel bad that like because it takes a long time, and like I feel bad that I'm just like, hey, okay, here's my audio, have fun, you know. But okay, I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah, it's also important to note too, Laura, like I would be so anxious, I feel like, if I did not have the final say in like every cut that's made, just because I don't know, I feel like I just like knowing that I can, if I say something and I don't say it correctly or don't say it the way I want it to be said, I can cut it and it's fine. And it's I also think I have more sensitivity to like what I say versus what you do. You're very much someone who's like, whatever. And so it's like I feel like I need that control in that way. And so sometimes, because I make it more hard than it needs to be, probably, because I do have to sit and watch every single second of the episode we record. And I feel like for the most part, most people will probably just be like, okay, put audio here, put audio there, check levels, we're good, let's get that baby out.
Yeah, that's kind of how I would do it.
Yeah, that's how you would do
when
it.
I did it at the beginning.
Exactly. And so like that's why I'm like, I'm okay with doing the work that I'm doing because it makes me feel better at night, I think. Good. So yeah. But otherwise, let me think. How has my life really changed? I think I've been able to use my English degree.
Yes,
in a
I
different
love
way.
when we can. I love when you're talking and I'm like, that English degree did something in there.
Thank God. Thank God. One of the most pointless majors. Thank God. No, actually not in these days. I'll tell you what. Literacy crisis is upon us, and it is not impacting me. But yeah, I think it's been really helpful for me being able to express my thoughts and work that which side of your brain is the one that's like really analytical? Left side?
I don't know.
I am the left brain. I'm thinking about the Bo Burnham song where he goes back and forth between the look you gave me. Okay, sorry. This is one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I forget our interests do not cross sometimes. Anyway, but I get to exercise a part of my brain that I want to exercise more often. And so, yeah. But yeah, nice. I don't know. And it's also nice to work with you in a quote unquote, this is going to sound so annoying, professional setting. Ooh, but it is like because we're doing something that I think is like, and not like we're trying to start a brand or a business, but like it's like a podcast is a whole different thing outside of a friendship. Like we're talking about
a voice memo. Yeah,
like we're talking about what we together want to produce and put out into the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So like right now we're keeping it so low key and light because it's mostly for the fun of us. Like we don't care who's listening so much as like we just like being able to do this together. But it is like, we have to like text each other and make like decisions together and figure out what we want to do. And it's been really fun. Yeah. And a cool thing that we've been able to do that we haven't been able to do in the past. So. And
I love, like, I usually make like the thumbnails for the YouTube and what we put on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Like when it looks like it's from Canva, that's usually me. And but I love like sending you some options because I'm just like, I love getting your input, and I'm always open to like if you don't think the colors are working or whatever, like I'm always, my feelings are never like tied up in it. But when you're like, yes, I love it, I'm like, yay.
True. Well,
it's fun.
I like passing the creative duties on to you because I feel like I'm not creative at all in that regard,
which is crazy. You always say that, and I don't get it, but
that's really nice of you. But whenever you send me those options, have you ever seen the movie like 13 Going on 30?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, I can explain what I'm talking about. But there's a scene where, because she's this, I guess, like, I think the main character in that movie is like an editor at a magazine. And so in like there's this sequence at the beginning where people are coming up to her, showing her a bunch of different like fabrics or a bunch of different like designs, and she's like, pick which one. Do you like eggshell or do you like cream? And it's like little things like that. I'm like, it makes me feel like I'm like, wow, like they're showing me all the options.
Okay, this or that.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I like off brown more than I like just the brown. Yeah,
That's
it's
fun.
funny. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts about everything? How has your life really been changing since the podcast? You've had a busy year, I feel like. So
yeah, I've gone through periods of time where I'm very busy and periods of time where I'm not busy.
Yeah.
And it's been a busy period currently, which is good. But yeah, I don't work full time because part of my quote unquote job is to go to dance class and go to auditions because that's what I want to make my job. So I have to have some space for that in my schedule.
Yeah.
But because of that, I have space in my schedule a lot of times, and I don't it's less about having free time and more about like I don't have a clear routine. I'm not doing the same thing every day or like week to week. My Mondays don't all look the same. My Tuesdays don't all look the same.
Yeah.
And so it can be hard to feel like I'm doing things. Like I show up to class, I go to the gym, I go to my auditions. But it can be hard because it's like I'm not currently performing on stage. I'm not currently in rehearsal for something. And so like I like our podcast. It's like something that it's like I'm working on creating it and then there's a final product. And it's like I'm getting to make something. It's not that this podcast like gives me routine necessarily, but it is something that it's like we have a schedule of when we post, and so we have a schedule of when we try to record, and it makes me, it helps in me trying to like keep doing things and keep like showing up where I need to show up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Me too. I was gonna say I was in a weird because I'm in my mid-20s and like I have a job that, you know, I have my 9 to 5, but as far as outside of that, I think it's kind of hard to figure out what your hobbies are after high school and college, you know. And so it's like this is one thing that I'm like, okay, well this is something that I know is going to fill my time and make me feel fulfilled in a way that I'm not getting from my job. So that's nice. And
I'm such a like I'm sure you've watched some of my dance recitals with me, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm such a, like, I want there to be a recording of what I'm doing so that I can, like, watch it later or listen later.
Yeah, reminisce. Truly.
Yeah, and so it's, like, I like that we're, like, creating something that's, like, could potentially be around, like, as long as the internet and stuff,
as long as the cloud doesn't.
It's just, like, I like... that's like fun and exciting to me because I'm such a nostalgic person and I like to think about the future when I can be nostalgic for right now, you know what I mean? And like, like when that. I don't know, have kids or grandkids or something, and it's like look what your mommy made when she was 25, you know?
Yeah, wait, that's so nice. I know. I also like the idea because I mean we've only been around for a year, but the idea that in a year or two we'll have this huge backlog of books we've read, and I'm assuming I will not remember the plot of like books like what happened. Everyone on this train is a suspect. Like, right. I can go back and listen to a 2-hour long episode of us discussing it and rehashing it, and then I'll be able
that's
to
so true.
Of really remember what my feelings were for that book. So that's quite nice.
Quite nice. And we have a bunch of you know, we used to be really fun and cool on Twitter, and we were so like taking screenshots of every other message that we send each other because we're funny and like posting them on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I think recently you saw something or sent me something and you were like, it's so interesting to like see how we used to text each other.
Oh my gosh, we used to text so different than we do now. Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, if we continue to hopefully like, you know, keep making episodes for another year or 2 or 5 or whatever,
we'll see how we develop.
It will be interesting to see how our humor changes, or like our intelligence matures or something. You know, just like how we'll be able to see a progression of just like ourselves, you know, in our friendship.
We're gonna, hopefully, if we continue, we're gonna truly watch ourselves age on camera, which is really insane. We're probably gonna look back and be like, we're so young and like our skin bounced back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which, like, you think about it, you know, we talk a lot about how like we've taken inspiration from John and Hank Green.
Oh my gosh, you've been doing it since 2007.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing it for like, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's like, look at them at in their first videos, look at them 10 years in, look at them now, you know. That's and like how beautiful to like see, like, just, you know, we just have glimpses into their lives for so long, and like, and see how they interact with each other over time, and what is important to them at different times in their lives and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so true and gorgeous, and
love.
That is really exciting to know that could be something down the line for us.
Well, I feel like because we're talking about the posterity of our podcast, maybe we should bring up our new things.
Yes. Okay, do you want to introduce, you guys? So this has been a year, and like we've been cooking with some ideas, and so we're totally not expecting this to, I think, go crazy immediately, but it's nice to have these things implanted in like our in our podcast community now, because like we've been here for a year, and I'm excited to see in all the ways we're going to grow. So do you want to introduce the things that we have?
Sure. So you guys have been hearing some rumblings about this on our previous episodes, but we finally have a Discord that I like made, and I tried to make it cute and fun. And it's called Read the Last Page Book Club. Duh. And we've got some different channels on there. So we have our general channel, which that's just, you can talk about anything. We don't care. Then like for our podcast chat, I'm just going to explain like what each of these are for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like we'll have like a thread that's like about the current read. So like whatever we're reading, if you're reading it too, like make predictions or just chat about it. Try to stay spoiler free. And then like a thread where like if we say something funny in the podcast and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to comment back to that or whatever, like something like that. It's like, oh, like yap. It's called Yap About the Pod. Like if you just want to like respond to what we're saying. And then another one where it's like any of the books that we've already read, so like spoilers allowed, like talk about whatever. Then we have like a media tab where you can recommend books, and then like we just have ones for like TV, movies, and music, like just if you want to share what you like or ask for recommendations or anything like that. Literally, these are all so like the boundaries are not that hard. Like just whatever you want to.
Yeah.
And then just like one that's called Yapping. I put one in there that's like introduce yourself, because some of the other Discord channels I'm in, like they have a thing like that. So whenever you join, if you want to say like your name or your username, if you don't want like your real name, and like just anything about yourself that you want the community to know.
True. And
then just a random one for anything else.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun, like, because, well, you can tell me and Dan, we love to yap and we love to talk. Like, we love to discuss. And so it's like, we see that people are watching our stuff, and it's not, the numbers aren't crazy high, but it's like, there's some people there. So it's like, if people want to be a part of what we're talking about, like, then we can all just like have a platform to like just throw a random, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened in Sunrise and the Reaping, and
yeah,
can you believe Hey Mitch, blah blah blah, you know?
Yeah,
like stuff like that. So anyways, I think that it's public. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check my settings on here, but like I think you should probably be able to search it and join it. But we can also, like, I'll put a link, like the invite link when we post this like on all of our, like on the YouTube, on the Instagram and TikTok. If we can put a link on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, like we'll put it in there too. So yeah, feel free to join with your real name or with a screen name, whatever like you're comfortable with. That we don't care, it doesn't bother us. So
True.
Yay! And so that's kind of what I made, and then Dan also made something.
Yes. Okay, so I think maybe this was last episode or 2 episodes ago, but B and I accidentally recorded about 30 minutes of audio for a podcast episode that we just forgot to film on Zoom. So it was basically unusable footage for what our podcast is, but we were like, we don't really want to lose this audio recording. So we were like, this is kind of a really good opportunity to maybe start a Patreon. And like B said, numbers might not be crazy enough to have a Patreon, but we just kind of want a place where we can collect other things. So we do have a Patreon. It is free to the public if you want to join that and just see any extra behind the scenes footage that we'll probably be posting in the future. We have one audio podcast up right now, which is like 30 minutes long, and that is the behind the scenes footage of what we were doing before we realized that our Zoom was not recording. So if you want to join our Patreon, it's Read the Last Page Book Club. Like I said, it's free right now. Yeah, we don't know exactly what this is going to look like for now. Maybe in the future we'll be doing things on there like posting episodes early for people who want to see it early. Maybe we'll be doing like more behind the scenes, more like this
outtakes and bloopers.
Yeah, or like maybe even like specific, like we're just gonna record for the Patreon here. We'll see. But as of right now, this is just existing for kind of like a almost like a podcast dump, I would say. Like just like everything that isn't gonna go on the podcast, we'll just put it here.
Because I'm always talking about like, oh, if we had a Patreon, I'd show this picture or whatever. So now we have a place to do it.
Yes. So like I said, it's Read the Last Page Book Club at Patreon. So come see us there.
Join.
Please join.
I love to talk, so
true.
So I'd love to like have some people in our Discord that want to chat with us. But yeah, I made like a rules page in the Discord because I saw other like channels that I'm in did that, but
yeah, that's nice.
It's like, be nice.
Yeah, it's simple.
So yeah, I try to make it like official looking. So, and it's just me and Dan right now.
Hey, and I do not know how to use Discord, so I will be learning as we go. Trust.
Yeah, I'm in my gamer groups on there.
Oh, I don't know what the rapport is like on Discord. If it's anything like Reddit, I might be scared, or Tumblr, I might be scared. But maybe Discord's chill.
Yeah, at least what I'm in is chill. But also, like, there's so many messages that come in some of them, and I just like scroll to the bottom. I don't even read.
Yeah, like that's
like there's just a few tabs that I like actually read. So
okay,
I have a very limited view, but
okay. That's good.
But yeah. Happy 1-year anniversary to Read the Last Page.
Truly, I wish we had like little confetti poppers or something.
Woo! You know, like on FaceTime when you like you do this or whatever, and like
it's like something pops up.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else? I feel like that's the end.
Well, if you guys are here and if you're like a subscriber to us on either YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on wherever you get your Read the Last Page, thank you for sticking with us for if you've been here the entire year, or if you've just been here the past day. Like, truly,
literally,
thank you for spending any time wanting to hear what we have to say, and thank you for all the nice things people have said over the past year, all the encouragement. As I said, B and I do this because we personally just want to do it for each other, but it's been nice to kind of grow a little tiny community of people who actually kind of tune in. Like, for some reason, people tune in every 2 weeks.
I know, is that crazy?
That's really kind. It's really exciting. And I honestly do feel like we've hit almost a stride, and just since the year started, I've been really excited about our episodes. I've been like kind of proud about the books we've been reading and talking about. So I hope we only go up from here. I'm excited to see what the next year looks like, for sure.
We're going to be on a roller coaster that only goes up, my friend.
My friend. What's that from?
It's from The Fault in Our Stars. That used to be like my favorite quote ever.
I feel like you've said it to me before, and I'm like, that's a great quote. John Green, Nation Rise.
Augustus Waters, you know.
Okay, I love that. John Green. Love.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Like, we love our OG stands, we love our new stands, we love you all.
Read The Last Stands.
Oh yeah, true. Me and Kelly were just talking about in Gravity Falls, like when Grunkle Stan is running for mayor, and there's that sign that says "Yes, we stand." It's like such a good, like it's so usable, you know.
It's so true. Would it be Read the Last Stands, or would it be Stand the Last Page?
Ooh, I feel like Stand the Last Page.
Yeah, that kind of slides a little
good.
Okay. Might come back to that sometime.
Okay. Let's circle back. Well, everyone, thank you for listening to Read the Last Page for the past year or the past day or however long in between. We hope you'll stick around for a little bit. Our music and illustrations were, of course, created by the amazing Sage Timothy.
If you don't know our schedule yet, we host a book club episode once a month, and this month we are reading Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zahner, which I have in my hand here. So if you want to join us for our spoiler-filled discussion of that book, make sure you pick it up if you haven't already, and you can look out for that episode on the first Friday of June.
Before we get to the last page, though, we want to say thanks for listening. You can find us on your podcast platform of choice, or if you'd rather watch your podcast, you can find us on YouTube at Read the Last Page. And we're also on TikTok and Instagram, and now we're on Discord and Patreon.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah. For now, we want to say bye from B
and Dan. Bye.
Bye.